light's a bit bright. Oh. Yeah, good afternoon. It's Jo here over at Woolly Cottage, and another little live chat. If anyone's around, I will just carry on with my weaving today. Did a little bit more last night. I'm not really sure how much more I've got to get through. Probably a lot more than I realised. I've got some alpaca in the back of my throat. So what I'm doing, I need to wind this bobbin on. That one's done, and then I've got 2 to do while I'm here. So I'm hoping I'm halfway through this. I just don't seem to find the time enough to be able to do this, and it's been a bit of a challenge getting these done. But I am trying to get more of it done on a daily basis. It's just finding the time between doing all my dyeing and blending and everything else, and then household chores that I'm forever putting off, but I know I need to be done. And then it's such a clunky thing. I always feel like I'm making too much noise in the evening. Though I'm not bothering anyone as such, but yeah, so try and get a bit more of this done today. So I've just ordered another cone, but then thankfully I didn't order 2 cones, because I did actually find a cone of my linen fibre that goes with this. So I ordered another one, so that should be coming out soon. And I've still got loads of wool. It'll be interesting to know exactly how much wool I end up using when this project's finished, because I will have to weigh it just to get an idea of how many bats I've made, how many yards I've come up with so far, and how many I still need to use to get it done. I mean, all those maths you can do if you're into all that, but not all of us have got the time, the patience, or the mathematical inclination to want to figure it all out, and we just do it as we go along. But we just make sure that we've got more than enough stock, wool fibres in the colours that you want to do, to make sure you've got enough to complete this project. So I'll just wind this wool on. There we go. Pop that off and get on with this. So if you hear anybody rustling around in the background, Phil's off today. So Wednesday, back to usual days off in the week. Just need to tighten this off a little bit more, I think. And I will point you down so you can see what I'm doing. I prefer to really use my little camera holder, but when I'm doing this weaving, it yanks a lot, so it's really not worthwhile doing it without the camera vibrating when I'm weaving at the same time. So where are we at? So I'll just get this going. So it's a repeat pattern that I'm doing on this loom. So I've really bulked this bobbin up. It's the last of the bobbin from the cake yesterday. I'm just gonna catch that on the end. Hi Anne, how are you, lovely? Have you? I saw the other day that you mentioned that remember the weaving you were doing for doing this, and then you made. Did you make the cushion covers out? Sorry, just got in from shopping. We'll do catch up later. No problem, Margaret. You go and get that stuff squirreled away before anybody decides that there's Munchables that they need to take out the bag first. It's generally the case in our house. The animals all come and look in the bags to see if there's anything there for them. And I don't mean Phil. Cold, it's raining. Yeah, well, do you know, we've had rain on and off today as well. It's a bit miserable and bleak outside. I've been upstairs in the studio doing more filming for next week's breed study for alpaca on my, for this channel. Do you know, I had a mental block then for this channel. So yeah, I'm doing a breed study next week. Do you know, I feel like I'm just in the way with my arm. I've just done 2, 3, 2, 3, not 3, 4, 2, 3. I'm going to pull you back a little bit, I think. Oh. Hi, Angelic Inspirations. I need to do 2, 3, so I'll get rid of this 4. Yeah, no matter which way I put you, I'm going to end up with my arm in the way. So do excuse my elbowing you out the way. So yeah, I've got, I'm doing it's a 2-part breed study I'm doing. So I've washed it, I've filmed washing it, and I've done my little talk about alpaca and everything else and the history of it all. So I've done that, but I thought this time, because usually when I do the wool breeds, I sort of do an example of what you can do with it, like felting or whatever. So I thought this time what I would do is, because I've read some information that when you're working with alpaca, sometimes it's better to dye it after the fact when it's been spun into yarns. So I thought, well, I'll do something a little bit different this time. So it'll end up being a 2-part breed study. So I've talked about it, I've washed it, and I've dried it. So the next part I'm doing now upstairs is carding it, which I'm going to film this afternoon. And I'm trying to work out whether to do a 50-50 blend or to do a like a 40-60 ratio on the blending to see how it looks. So I've done, I think, 25 grams of a merino with 25 grams of this alpaca. And I've just weighed out 50 grams of wool and 25 grams of alpaca. So I'll blend that up later on, and then I'll spin them off to see what difference there is. The only problem is with this fleece that I've got, it's been double cut. So you should have at least 3 inches plus on a Haikuya alpaca fleece, and then 9 inches on a Suri alpaca. But this one has been cut, and I've got 2 inches and 1 inch pieces. So I will more than likely end up with a bit of a halo when I spin this wool up. So that's why I thought I'll do 2 different versions, because a lot of us end up getting fleeces that aren't exactly what we thought they would be, with double cuts in there. So yeah, the fiber's lovely and it's so clean, and there's hardly any VM in there, which for me is unusual. Because whenever I've ordered stuff from breeders, it's been an absolute nightmare and so filthy that it takes me longer to actually clean it than it does to actually be able to work with it. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So I'll put both parts of the video up next Wednesday. And I'm not sure whether I'll do a live chat next Wednesday. I'll see what things I've got to do. Where am I at? 1, 2. So yeah, I might just do 2 videos up on the same day so that they're out of the way, and then it'll be a little while before I do another video again, because I've got my yarns to get dyed up for the week afterwards. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Right, 1, 2, and it's 1, 4. So just about trying to just keep on top of bits and pieces, and I like to sometimes do the videos in advance so that they're done and they're dusted, and I can just save them to the channel to premiere on the day. 1, 4, 3, 4. This one. I've filled this bobbin up far too much in this little boat shawl. Right, I need to just pinch that down and get that under there. I tell you what, Anne, I'm fooling myself thinking I'm halfway through this weave. I've definitely got a fair bit more to go. 3, 2. I think because I have to roll it on so often, it gives you that illusion in your mind that you're actually further on than what you are. Hopefully it shouldn't take me any longer. I need to make a proper effort to get a bit done every day and not every couple of days like I have been doing. Right, that down, pinch that down, pinch that one up. Right, 3, 4, 1, 4. So apart from that, I've not really been up to much. Still having the full-on warfare with the rats outside. I've had to get another box of poison. It's been a long old job. I feel bad for suggesting garment making. No, it's not been. It's I'm just not making enough time for myself to be able to do it for me. I mean, it isn't a problem or a dilemma to do it, and I will definitely do this again next year, but I think I'll adapt it next year and do some sort of woven bags, that sort of thing, like get a pattern of a rucksack or something and make something out of that and see how we can apply doing the weaving to a normal standard pattern. Definitely do it again next year. I think maybe towards the sort of wintry months when we're all stuck indoors anyway, and then it doesn't matter how long it takes to do it. I feel like I'm not being quick enough. But no, I do like doing this sort of thing, and I've been wanting to do another one for ages, so it's just made a point of me doing it, but I'm not committing my time, and that's me being naughty, Anne. 1, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, that's naughty of me for not making the effort more, and I should have done. I should be doing. Oh, God, this savage. I need to tighten that off on the weight again. It's hanging. 1, 2, 2, 3. And I've just done an order of yarns to get dyed up for dye next week for the following week. So I'm going to sort of take next week off from doing anything. I might put a couple of 100-gram backs on the website on Monday, but I'm not going to force myself to do it if I don't feel like it. 1, 3, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, so just trying to divide my weeks up. Three, 4, 1, 4. And then a tabby. So, Anne, have you got a separate project going on for your garment thing? Because as I say, you did your pillows of the week then. They were absolutely stunning. I really thought they were gorgeous. Was that you just doing a practice piece to see how that type of fibre would come out for doing something? Or have you actually got something else in mind? Weaving Bertha's art yarn seems a bit dull at the moment, and that can change. Were you using that as a practice piece to see how it would wash up and everything else, or have you got different fibre and yarns in mind for doing a garment piece? Apparently it's due to warm up next week. The coal man said that we're looking at a heat wave. Now, if you call 15 degrees a heat wave, we're all in trouble. start pouring down again? It sounds like it's raining.
No, I don't think so.
Right, and then back to my pattern again. So it is, usually I do Tour de Fleece. So I'm debating whether to do that again this year, because I think I only I got enough woolen to do about 6 or 7 orders last year. And I think I only sold 1 roving and 1 bat, and I gifted 1 as well. But would anybody be interested in Tour de Fleece colourway this year? Because I'm quite happy to get them put on the website and come up with a colour idea again this year. It's not something, it seems to be a massive hit with people in the US, even though it's, I always see cycling more as a British thing than it is American. No offence to any Americans out there who watch this later on. But yeah, it seems to be really popular over there doing the Tour de Fleece, but not so much over here in the UK. So yeah, I'll definitely I think I'll put a listing up for it, rovings and 200 gram roving, and do the bats in the same colour thing. Just need to go and look for it, because last year I did vintage poster, a vintage cycling poster from that from the I think it was the 1940s. I did the poster image from, and it was really lovely colours as well. I will go and grab it in a minute, but I spun up the wool, gave myself a bat, and I spun it up. And I started making myself a crochet shawl from it. Still going to finish it off, but what it is I'm playing yarn chicken with this crochet shawl, you see. And I don't want it finished the way that it wants to finish. I want to add something around the edgings, but I could never quite figure out what it was that I wanted to do without having to play yarn chicken. Right, we've done too much tabby, Joe. 1, 2. Right, put them down there. But they were lovely colours that I did. Oops, nearly took you with me. It was, if I remember rightly, it was like dusky salmon with lemon in there and mints. But it was really, really pretty, and like dusky olive tones in there. Oh, what's going on there? I'll go grab it on a sec. Typical. So I have got that much left of the yarn, and I spun it all in singles, and it's got mulberry silk in there and all sorts, and it was on a lovely merino base. But this is the shawl that I made from doing the Tour de Fleece wools from last year. So it's got that sort of corally, beachy look. So there's like fawns in there, there's slight hints of mint. Well, it's not so much mint, I would say it's more of a sea spray green or a duck egg green. And you've got these golds and these tangerines from the mulberry silk in there. Sections of mulberry silk in it as well. So yeah, that was done from the wool that I did for the Tour de Fleece last year. And this is what I've got left to play with, and I can't for the life of me decide what I want to do on the edge of it. But I might just leave that the way it is now, but it's been sat waiting for me to finish it for a year. It is finished, I just haven't decided what to do with the end of it. So yeah, it needs washing and set, but that was really pretty. I enjoyed doing that last year, so I might come up with something else as a plan for the Tour de Fleece. But it's the fibre commitment, you see. So I might have to do it as a pre-order. That way I know where I am with numbers. Oh, my yarn's going to break. 1, 2, 4, so it is 3-4. Yeah, the Tour de Fleece, if no one's ever heard of it before, it's when you, on the days that the Tour de Fleece run, which I think, if I remember rightly, is through the end of June going into July, and for every day that it's shown on the TV, for every day that it's shown on, like, the screen's gone all glitchy. Camera's freezing, lagging. Yeah, it's about 10 seconds behind. If you see me waving, it's because I'm trying to figure out when it's actually caught up, because it's gone all laggy, really laggy. 3, 4. There we go, we're back again. Sorry about that. That was really bad lag on that stream then. Yeah, the Tour de Fleece. So for every day that is aired on television, you're supposed to sit there and spin up an amount of wool and set yourself a challenge of how much you can get through for like the Tour de Fleece. It's a little bit of a competition for yourself. Some people like to see if they can spin consistently for every day that they sit and do the spin at the same time as Tour de Fleece is on the television. Set themselves little challenges, or just see if they can, for every hour that's on the TV, can they spin up 100 grams, because some people are quite slow at spinning. I can spin up 100 grams in an hour, not a problem at all. I'm quite fast at doing that. 3, 4, and then it's 1, 4. So yeah, that's what the Tour de Fleece is. If you've never taken part before, it's just a little bit of fun for yourself, and just, as I say, setting yourself a challenge, just like the guys are on the TV when they're cycling, because the qualifiers are on at the moment, so they're out racing. Can't remember where they are. I know that one's been dismissed, and one's just made it so we can actually compete. His timing's coming in. So they've just qualified. Some of the British teams qualified for the Tour de Fleece now. Tour de France now. So it won't be long until they're getting ready for that as well. So any races that they do beforehand are usually counted as the qualifiers, a bit like when people do the big competitions before the Olympics. These are all the qualifying rounds to see if they've got any injuries, or if there's a hope and chance of them actually managing to compete with their qualifying times. Where are we at? 1, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3. So yeah, so we say it's just a bit of fun. So I think I will do it. I need to go and find myself some pictures, and I will put them up, I think, as a pre-order on the website. And it was I'm sure I did last year, 200 gram bats and 200 gram rovings, and it was a lovely blended roving, and it had I think it was a silk that I did it with last year, or was it a tencel? It might actually have been tencel. 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 4. There, froze again. I have no idea what's going on with YouTube today. No idea what's going on. Sorry folks, it keeps freezing and going really laggy. I have no idea why. So what time are we at? We're at 26 minutes. If it does it again, I will probably just leave the live chat for today because it's just so annoying when it lags through. 1, 2. Yeah, it's really laggy. Yeah, so I'm back on a tabby again. And then I have to wind this on a bit. And then I'll be just about ready for the next bobbin to go in to the shuttle. Change them over. Tighten up this sleeve edge and this work loose out the weight at the back of the shafts. I use old weighing scale weights. They're really heavy and I can just wrap the yarn around it. Now one more. I think I might get one more out of this. Oh, it's a bit of a squeeze. Oh, just and so. Right, there's one bit of fibre down there that needs picked up. Oh, that was close. So I just need to go up and wind that on. Stick. There we go. And then back to 1, 2 again. Just tighten this off. Right, change your bobbins over. It's one done. So has anybody ever competed, not I say competed, joined in on the Tour de Fleeces at any time over the years? Sec. Just wangle this one through here and then just go in that bit there and that's then joined in. Oh, come on. Oh, for goodness sake. Doesn't want to behave itself. 3, 2. It looks like it needs to tighten up a little. There we go, 2 clumps over it. It just seemed a little bit loose. My shuttle kept bouncing off the bottom. So that's 2, 1. Oh, there we go. Getting a little bit sticky in areas now that it's coming out from the back of the beam. And then 3, 4. Every time I look at that camera, it seems to be stalling. Right, so it's 3, 4, then it's 3, 2. Where are we at? 3, 2, 3, 4 again. So yeah, that's about it really. Not much interesting stuff happening this week. I really want to get this done and then it's gone. Next time, and we don't do 17 foot of cloth. And then that'll be wonderful. I think that'll help for definite if we don't do that much. 4, 1, 2. Two, 3. The loom looks so complicated to use. It's not actually. See, I find things that do more complex moments, like actions, like the back of the shafts and things like that, a lot more entertaining in my brain and easier to use than the rigid heddle loom. With the rigid heddle loom, I can do all the weaving on a rigid heddle loom that I can do on the shaft loom, but I have to add separate components to that myself. Whereas with this, there's four of these, they're called shafts, and then you get a pattern, and this is a 4 shaft loom. It's and each one of these shafts has these wire attachments. They're equivalent of reeds, okay? So in each one of these, there's a little hole, and inside those holes, you count the shaft as 1, 2, then there's 3 and 4. So when you're reading a pattern, I haven't got a magazine with me, but when you're reading a pattern, it has little blocks at the top like a chart, and you read each block, and each block should sit in either 1, 2, 3 or 4 hole. You get 8 shaft looms, and it'd be 1 to 8 that you would have in there as well. And it just helps you to create a more complicated pattern, but it's just time consuming setting it up rather than it being confusing, because I could have 2 shafts on a rigid heddle loom, or heddles on a loom, and then add in to the back of that like doweling rods with loops on there that I would have to then pick up these at the back of those heddles, and then I would have to physically lift them each time I wanted to create a pattern. So whether it was the front heddle and the pickup stick at the back attached by loops, then I would have to do that and then weave through. This makes your job just a little bit easier, not as complicated. It just makes the whole thing easier, and all I'm doing is literally going 1 and 2 shafts, and then I'm going 1 and 4 shafts. So I'm literally moving the handles up and down to get the pattern that I'm wanting in the fabric. But you can use all sorts of fibres in these. It's hand spun, so I've spun it all myself, and it's a blend of alpaca, llama, silk, pearl fibres, sari silk noil in there, and I think I use merino or cordell. I can't remember, it's been ages since I've done it. I actually did the video on there, and it was the prep video on how to prep your bats is what I was doing, because it was a lead up to doing this. And I think it was a blended wool. Actually, it wasn't. I did a blended wool of merino and tencel, I think it was. And then I've just plied it with a linen yarn, a 4-ply linen yarn. Have I got any cones of it down here? No, I haven't. So yeah, it's not actually complicated. It's just a matter of writing yourself down a chart and following the numbers as you go down. And you'll create zigzags and tweedy sort of looks and stuff like that. So yeah, to the untrained eye it looks complicated, but this way is using a shaft loom is so much more easier than using a rigid heddle loom, for definite. And that's coming from a bit of experience, because me and my old rigid heddle loom, which now lives in Aberdeenshire, used to have many an argument about who was right and who was wrong. Right, where am I? 1, 2. I think I've got down to there. 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 4. It's quite relaxing doing this. It's meditative. Once you get into the swing of what you're doing. I mean, I'm trying to remember what line I'm on while I'm talking. 3, 4, 1, 4. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what line I'm on while I'm talking, but if I was doing this on my own without having a chat, then I would be fine and I'd be off. And it is quite a meditative reaction. It's because it's so methodical and repetitive, you end up going into a bit of a relaxing state of mind when you're doing this. It's not overly complicated at all. It can be time consuming getting it up and going, because you want to follow a chart pattern or something like that. It can take nearly the best part of a day, 2 days to get it warped up, depending on how complicated it is, or how many mistakes you've done, or if you've warped it from the front of the beam instead of the back of the beam. So yeah, and then you find that you're having to unpick it all, which I did do with this one. So yeah, it can get a little bit time consuming, but it's not. Once you get it going, it always takes the longest. Even on a rigid heddle loom, it takes forever to get that thing up and going. I do envy those people that can have their loom all warped up in a day and weaving on it by tea time. I'm like, how the heck can you do that? I just haven't got the patience or the lack of backache to get on with it. So yeah, no, I know where you're coming from. But once you get going, it's a doddle. It's just making sure you put the right handles down at the right time. And not just that, only you know when there's a mistake made in the weaving. When you've done one row too many of something, it's only you that'll ever spot it. 1, 4, 3, 4. That's 3, 2. So I've got down, that one back up, and that one down. So you nearly made a mistake then because I wasn't concentrating. Now it's 1, 2. I don't want to go under that. when I first got this shaft loom from my friend Jess at Weaver Eye, because she's this was her auntie's, so it's actually a vintage London Weave Master loom. I had to remember, so what I did was I put stickers on here, and one in here, one in here, so I'd remember where the shafts were in the end. I mean, I know you can physically see it, but when you're getting used to moving the handles at the top, it's nice to have just those number notes there so you remind yourself. And after about 6 months of using it and making about 4 or 5 shawl, it stuck. So when I varnish this down through the month there and give it a good clean through, and I restained it and everything else, I took all the stickers off, and I found that I don't need them anymore because the muscle memory is reminding me what it is that I need to do and where the actions are. So it's just about being repetitive and doing something over and over again. So now we're at 3-4, and then it's 3-2. Three, 2, 3, 4. Oh, come on. Bobbin's got stuck. Right, hold on. Where are we at? There we go. Come on out. There you are. Right, get back on here. 3, 4. 1, 4. Two. I do apologise for the lagging of the video today. I have no idea why it's misbehaving today. Hopefully when this saves, so it can be re-watched tomorrow, hopefully it wouldn't be so bad. No, I need 2, 3. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I think next week I'm going to have to start just using my data up when I do these live chats, because it is getting quite bad on the internet, and there should not be any reason why it's so bad on the internet. Because I have to do my live chats on Instagram by using up my data. It's the only way I can get on there without being a pain in the backside. Right, where are we at? It goes down there. So that's another bobbin used up, and I am getting to the point I will have to wind on in a bit. So yeah, what I'll do, I think I'll call it quits because this internet, gotta go. John wants his lunch, nuisance man. Thanks for today. See you Saturday, hopefully somebody's birthday. Yes, it is my birthday on Saturday. I'll be the grand old age of 47. I don't look it. I don't look like I'm coming up for 3 years off of 50. I haven't got a wrinkle, and I've hardly got any grey hair. Though I should have a full head of grey hair after the years I've had. And what Phil puts me through. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to get going anyway. This YouTube live is driving me potty with this delay and the lagginess. And I will see you all on Saturday if you want to come and pop over and see me. Saturday lunch, probably about 12 o'clock or thereabouts. I might be sat knitting. My jumper's coming on. I've just got to fix an issue that I made a mistake on a stitching, counting numbers on my pattern work. So I'll get on with that later on tonight, and I will get on some more with this weaving. Spring chicken. My body doesn't feel like a spring chicken, but my face tells a different story. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you all on Saturday. And look out for next week's upload of the alpaca breed study. I hope you'll enjoy it.